So I've been using Claude Code all morning. So I've got about 4.5 hours of just 100% using it. So I want to go through what I like about it. And again, keep in mind, this is just an early research like preview. So everything that I'm going to talk about is probably going to change next week. But it is incredibly exciting to see tools like this. I've been a fan of command line type coding tools since like 2012 or maybe even before that. I like working in this interface a lot. What I want to start with now is I actually want to start with the blank repo and just run through an example of me creating something from scratch and seeing if it can do it. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work, but if you're familiar with Trello, it's kind of like a Kanban board sort of deal. I want to just see if it can actually create a website that kind of mimics that. I'm giving it very broad like instructions here. So we're going to see how it kicks off. Now, it does do this type of thing where it'll constantly ask me to approve things, or you can say, yeah, if you need to make a directory anytime ever again in this session, go ahead and do it. And I love that. The other feature I really love is the no, but I also want to redirect Claude. So like see here, no, and tell Claude what to do different. And this has helped me a ton. I've actually really like that a lot. I'm just going to hit yes to all this. I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out. The other thing I kind of like is the flavor they've kind of added to it, like the stewing, the contemplating. Like they've got like some really interesting like flavor text that they've added, and they've done a really good job styling this. So let me go ahead and like expand this so you can see a little bit more. This is the code that it recently added, and it looks like it's just that's the styling. There's the HTML. I think it's just doing a basic HTML. I was expecting it to go into React, to be honest with you. Curious where this is gonna go. There's my JS file. So it is doing drag and drop. That's kind of cool. And when you first set it up, you can actually pick the style you want. I really like coding in dark mode. So now, apparently, it is done. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's going to go ahead and open this guy up. What it made for me. That's pretty sick, isn't it? I'm surprised. I mean, it's running local. I need to redirect it to like make a server for it. But that is really cool. I'm going to say, can you make it a hosted server, maybe using Express? Very vague again. And we're going to kick this off. Crafting, I love it. That's always a different word there. And the little animated Claude logo is pretty cool. You do have to run this in Linux. So I am running on my Linux environment currently, which doesn't have my recording set up perfectly tuned. So if my audio is a little bit different, I apologize for that. So I'm going to go ahead and let it just navigate however it wants here. It created my package.json file, it looks like. Is that what that is? Yep, package.json. That is in my server file. Okay. And then what is in here? It's going to move stuff in there, I bet, while it's ideating. I'll skip through some of these that take a little bit of time, too. So this is one of the things that happens a decent bit, is they'll actually take a while to respond. And I've had some times where I actually didn't know anything was changing, so I'm just sitting there like, is it stuck? And you just kind of have to be patient with it sometimes because the amount of tokens it's sending is just extraordinary. I'll show you that here in a minute when I show you my usage just from this morning. Now, I typically use like open routers, but here I'm directly using the Claude API because that's just how it sets up. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it, yeah, you can cd into any, and it wants to go ahead and run the server too, which is cool. Yeah, you can list files. I'm fine with that. Did it move files in there yet? It did. It moved the index.js file, but it didn't remove those. It would want it to remove. Now it wants to run npm.start. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this is going to fix it. I have another development server running. I wonder if it'll change the port. Yeah, it did. That is awesome. You can run npm start. I'm not gonna let you do that all the time, but let's take a look. This is the other thing that I don't really know if I like, but it doesn't give you feedback that it's running here. There might be a way to do it, I just haven't figured out how. But yeah, see now it's running on localhost 3001. And if I add a task in here, apparently it's failing to move the task. Okay, so I'm going to tell it that. When I go to move a task, it says failed to move. Probably going to have to interrupt it because I'm pretty sure it's just waiting for that server to run. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just hit escape. Cogitating. A word you do not hear very often. It just goes. I'm gonna go ahead and approve all grep commands here. And now we wait for the magic to happen. You see it's conjuring now. Kind of neat. Alright, well, it looks like it wants me to start the server up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open another one. I use different nodes, so I'm just gonna use 23 here. npm run start. I think that was a command. npm start. Oh, I got a cd into the server folder. My bad. And now I'm running on localhost. Oh, like saving it. And it's moving properly now. I didn't do a dang thing. Boom. In progress. Wonder if all these things work. Like if I hit edit. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Hit delete and it works. Sweet. Yeah, that's a quick introduction to Claude Code. Very impressed with it. Let me just show you one thing that I think is very important to know. Before I started this task, I was at 15 million tokens. This is a small repo. So the code amount should be very low. But it went to 16,717,000. So this is my daily use just since 4 hours ago, to be honest. I could, and I've actually had to tone back because it's getting kind of a little expensive. So it is a token hog. It will eat your tokens like crazy. All right, this is in the morning. I am testing Claude Code a little bit. I've done a few tests already, and it's actually worked really well. One thing I want to talk about here, my one concern is this. I'm using a crap ton of tokens, and I haven't even done that much. I did two very minor tasks. The most recent one is basically animating this button, which is basically nothing. It shouldn't have been much at all. And it used about 2 million tokens. It went from 3.5 to 5.5 million tokens there. My cost is probably going to start getting up there. I have another task that I want to do now. I'm going to go ahead and kick that off. Basically, I am going to have it go through and create a new button for me. The button should only show if we have email already generated, and it should disable the view email design button while it's generating. I told it to start in content tasks. I'm trying to give it a little bit more context on it. Maybe it'll save me some tokens. But we're going to see how this fires off. One of the cutest things is really this hatching. Like that. I love this little animating Claude icon, and then the flavor or I love the like character it actually gave Claude Code. So I've actually told it to just start making changes without me approving it, and I'm just verifying them, and then I'm adding it to Git after the fact. So it says it's done. So let's go and check to see. Actually, no, I clicked the wrong one. I should be clicking regenerate email. Regenerate email. So that removed the button and then now animates that. That's totally fine, I think. Except it didn't hold it. It didn't update the data on the back end to know that. I don't know if it's going to figure out what I mean by this here. I'm just going to go ahead and fire it off. But basically, I have this like job tracker behind the scenes, and I just needed to like clear the data for that job tracker. Not actually checking to determine like if it It's running and the data's there. So let's just see what it does here. So this is the client side, so I don't have to rebuild yet. I have a feeling it is probably going to. Oh, I see. But that's only clearing it locally. Not going to clear it on the server side. Unless I'm misunderstanding what it did. Take a look here. Okay, that's good. I like it. Yeah, see, it didn't work. Ideally it would do like a patch call. Finagling. See what happens here. It did say you're right, so maybe it does understand. It did, yeah, because we need to do the not just the UI state here. What it's doing. I might have to rebuild though if it ends up changing the server side. Good. Yep, it patched it. I think that'll work, and it's only client side. All right, let's go here. Generate email. I'm gonna refresh. Oh, why? I have no idea if it's gonna understand what I'm saying there. Let's see. Yeah, see, this is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to actually grab. There it is. That's what I need. Look at that. 1.7 million tokens just to do this like little task here. It's crazy. I mean, I kind of like it though. It's very cool. When it's not so expensive. Get mustering. Wait, what is it changing all that for? It removed this code. Kind of worried about it now, to be honest. Refresh to make sure. Okay, that's right. That's perfect. Now, if we sit here a second, this should switch to view email design. I mean, it did it. Just out of curiosity. Just since that last call before we did it, where are we at? Oh, 400,000 tokens. Oh my god. To me. I try to not use Claude API so much because it's so expensive, but man, that's insane. Okay, I want to actually test to see if I can get this to push to GitHub for me. I haven't done this yet. Telling it to go to a particular branch. So let me see if it'll do it. Yeah, I'm good with those 3 files going into that branch. What is it doing? It added it. Yeah, I'm good with that. We're just gonna go ahead and tell it not to ask me again. I love it. I love that summary. I'm worried that it's not gonna push to the right branch though. Um, Not telling me which branch. I mean, I'm on the unlayered branch. Hopefully it just pushes. Yeah, it did. Sweet. Yep, you can see here. Here's their message they put and the code that they pushed in. Pretty sick. I really like Claude Code. My only worry is the amount of tokens that it uses and how expensive it is. I feel like you could just burn through 100 million tokens in a day if I really wanted to, just using Claude Code. Anyway, I really like it. It's working really good. It is early. It is freaking expensive. Burns through tokens. It is nice on the output tokens, though. It's really the input tokens, which those are the cheaper of the two. It's $3 per million. So you can think about that. I'm at 10 million now, so that's pretty crazy amount of money. I kind of feel like there's some sort of discount going on right now, though, which I'm not totally sure because my price hasn't reflected the amount of tokens that I've used yet. But when it does, if it's like a delayed update, I'm going to be really sad because it's going to be a very expensive day. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful to give you a taste of what Claude Code can do. Until next time, guys, peace out.